So today I want to talk about something that was just announced 1 hour ago that confirms everything I have been saying about who actually controls the negotiation process in this war. Iran refused to attend the Pakistan peace talks, and now Iran is going to Moscow. Not to Washington, not to a neutral third party, to Moscow. Iran's foreign minister will meet with Russian officials within 48 hours to discuss terms for ending this conflict. And what this means is that Russia, not America, will hear Iran's conditions first. Russia, not America, will shape the negotiation framework. And America will be presented with a fait accompli negotiated between Iran and Russia with Chinese backing. Let me walk you through exactly what is happening here and why this is one of the most significant diplomatic defeats America has suffered in decades. Because what Iran just did is not just snub American-led peace efforts. What Iran just did is formalize a new diplomatic structure where Russia and China mediate regional conflicts and America is excluded from the process entirely. So let me start with the timeline because the sequence of events tells you everything. 2 days ago, Iran officially refused to attend the Pakistan talks. Yesterday, Steve Witkoff flew to Islamabad in emergency mode trying to salvage something. This morning, Witkoff returned to Washington empty-handed. And 1 hour ago, Iran announced that its foreign minister will travel to Moscow for bilateral consultations with Russia on pathways to resolving the Strait of Hormuz crisis. Now, on the surface, people might think this is just normal diplomatic activity. Iran and Russia are allies. Of course, they consult with each other. But what most people are missing is the structural significance. Iran is choosing to negotiate with Russia before negotiating with America. Iran is giving Russia the first opportunity to hear Iranian terms, to shape the proposal, to craft the framework. And once Russia and Iran agree on terms, those terms will be presented to America as a package deal. Take it or leave it. This is a complete inversion of how international negotiations have worked for the past 75 years. Normally, America is at the center. America convenes the talks. America hears everyone's positions first. America brokers the compromise. And then America presents the deal to other parties. What Iran just did is cut America out of that central role entirely. Russia is now the broker. Russia is now the mediator. And America is reduced to responding to terms negotiated by others. Now let me explain why Russia agreed to this role and what Russia gains from it. Because Russia is not doing this out of friendship with Iran. Russia is doing this because it serves Russian strategic interests enormously. First, by mediating between Iran and the United States, Russia positions itself as an indispensable power. Russia becomes the intermediary that both sides need. This gives Russia leverage over both Iran and America. Russia can extract concessions from Iran for delivering American acceptance. And Russia can extract concessions from America for delivering Iranian cooperation. Second, Russia demonstrates to the entire world that Russia, not America, is the power that can actually resolve Middle Eastern conflicts. For decades, America claimed this role. America positioned itself as the only power with enough influence to broker peace between warring parties. Russia is now taking that role and succeeding where America failed. This is a massive boost to Russian prestige and influence globally. Third, Russia uses this mediation to weaken American alliances. Because what do you think Saudi Arabia, UAE, Egypt, Jordan are thinking right now? They are thinking America could not solve this crisis. America could not get Iran to the negotiating table. But Russia could. Russia has the relationship with Iran that America lacks. So maybe we need to strengthen our relationships with Russia. Maybe we need to hedge our dependence on American security guarantees. This is exactly what Russia wants. Russia wants to fracture American alliance structures by proving that Russia is a more effective problem solver. Fourth, and this is crucial, Russia gets to shape the terms of any settlement in ways that favor Russian interests. Russia will push for a framework that keeps American military presence in the Gulf limited. Russia will advocate for regional security arrangements that include Russia and exclude America. Russia will promote economic deals that benefit Russian companies. And Iran will likely accept many of these Russian preferences in exchange for Russian support in the negotiations. Now let me talk about what terms Iran is likely to present to Russia. Because we can predict with reasonable accuracy what Iran wants based on everything that has happened over the past weeks. First, Iran wants formal recognition that Iran controls the Strait of Hormuz and has sovereign authority to regulate traffic through it. This is non-negotiable for Iran. Iran will not reopen the strait permanently unless this is acknowledged. Second, Iran wants complete removal of all sanctions related to energy, banking, and technology. Not temporary suspension. Permanent removal. Iran wants the legal right to sell oil globally, to access international banking systems, and to import advanced technology without restrictions. Third, Iran wants security guarantees from both Russia and China formalized in writing. Iran wants commitments that if America attacks Iran again, Russia and China will respond with concrete measures. This does not have to be a formal mutual defense treaty, but it has to be more than vague diplomatic statements. Fourth, Iran wants American recognition of Iranian regional influence. Iran wants America to stop supporting anti-Iranian groups in Syria, Iraq, Yemen, and Lebanon. Iran wants America to accept that Iran is a major regional power with legitimate interests that must be respected. These are Iran's core demands, and Russia will likely support most of them. Why? Because everything Iran is asking for weakens American influence and strengthens Russian and Chinese influence. Russia has no reason to push back on Iranian demands that serve Russian strategic interests. Now let me explain what happens next. Russia and Iran will negotiate for several days. They will produce a framework proposal. That proposal will be shared with China for approval. China will likely approve because the terms serve Chinese interests as well. And then Russia will present this framework to the United States as a fait accompli. Russia will say Iran has agreed to these terms. China supports these terms. This is the deal. You can accept it and the conflict ends. Or you can reject it and the conflict continues indefinitely. And here is America's dilemma. The terms will be politically toxic for any American administration. Recognizing Iranian control of Hormuz looks like surrender. Removing all sanctions looks like capitulation. Accepting Iranian regional dominance looks like strategic defeat. No American president wants to accept these terms. But what is the alternative? Continue fighting a war that is not achieving its objectives? Watch American allies suffer economic devastation? See the petrodollar continue eroding while China and Russia benefit? America will be trapped between accepting humiliating terms or continuing an unwinnable conflict. And this trap was created by Iran's decision to negotiate with Russia first. Because if America had been at the table from the beginning, America could have shaped the framework. America could have introduced conditions that made the deal more acceptable domestically. But by going to Moscow first, Iran ensures that the framework is already set before America gets involved. This is diplomatic genius. And it is only possible because Iran has the strategic leverage to dictate the process. Iran controls Hormuz. Iran has Chinese economic backing. Iran has Russian military support. Iran can afford to be patient. Iran can afford to negotiate on its own terms. And America cannot prevent any of this. Now let me talk about what this means for the broader global order. Because what we are witnessing is not just the end of one conflict. We are witnessing the emergence of a new diplomatic architecture where Russia and China, not America, mediate major international disputes. This is the practical manifestation of multipolarity. For 75 years, if there was a major international crisis, the UN Security Council met and America led the response. America convened the coalitions. America brokered the deals. America provided the framework. But now, regional powers are choosing to negotiate through Moscow and Beijing instead of through Washington or New York. And this shift is accelerating. Think about what this means for future conflicts. If Taiwan becomes a crisis, China will mediate. If Ukraine remains unresolved, Russia will mediate. If Kashmir flares up, Russia and China will jointly mediate. America will be consulted. But America will not lead. America will respond to frameworks created by others. This is the end of American diplomatic primacy. Subscribe for more analysis on how Iran's decision to negotiate with Russia first is reshaping global diplomacy and what it means for American power explained clearly. And tell me in the comments, do you think America will accept the terms Russia and Iran negotiate? Or will America reject them and continue fighting? I will see you next time. Let me leave you with one final observation. The fact that Iran feels comfortable going to Moscow before even considering talking to Washington tells you everything about how much American leverage has declined. 5 years ago, Iran would have had to at least pretend to consider American proposals before running to Russia. But today, Iran does not even bother with that pretense. Iran knows Russia will support Iranian positions. Iran knows China will back whatever Russia and Iran agree to. And Iran knows America has no good options for responding. This is not just a diplomatic snub. This is a fundamental reordering of how international negotiations work. America used to set the agenda. Now America responds to agendas set by Russia and China. America used to broker the deals. Now America decides whether to accept deals brokered by others. This is what decline looks like. Not military defeat, not economic collapse, but the quiet erosion of the structural advantages that made America the indispensable nation. And once those advantages are gone, they are almost impossible to recover.